After 6 years, my ex-husband who betrayed Maine by cheating with my sister has contacted Maine through email. I, 33 female, met my ex-husband, Dan, 40 female, almost 15 years ago at a restaurant when I was celebrating my 18th birthday. He was really nice, charming and mature. He made me feel loved and special. For some context, I grew up in a dysfunctional family. My mom and dad used to always fight. My dad would sometimes go out and not come back for months. He died when my sister Abby, 25 female, was born. My mom was way too fond of Abby since her birth rather than me. Abby was basically babied by my mother. She didn't neglect me at all, always did her best as a mother and provided for me, but I always felt sometime missing. After Dan came to my life, I didn't feel like there was something missing from me. He supported me, he was caring. He would always buy me gifts and take me out on long drives. I felt complete when I was with him. We got married after dating for 4 years. I wanted to start a family right away, but Dan encouraged me to do my master's and help me build my career. He wanted us to be in a stable position financially before we start thinking about having kids. Seriously, he was the best guy I could ever ask for. After 5 years of being happily married, I discovered that my husband was cheating on me with Abby. I discovered the affair when my husband made an excuse that he will go out of town for a week, but he stayed in town and he booked a hotel room where he and Abby can have sex. This has been going on for 6 months behind my back. I was really devastated. Abby and I were close growing up. I loved her and cared for her. How could she do this to me? After the D, Dan and I had a fight. I asked, how could he do this to me? That too with my sister who just turned 19. He said he didn't love me anymore, that I don't give him enough attention. That I am not the same girl he fell in love with. Between this mess, I discovered that I was pregnant. But due to the stress, I lost the baby. He didn't even care enough to visit me at the hospital when I lost our child. He was having a weekend getaway with my sister. I should have seen the signs. Abby would always be touchy with Dan. Dan would sometimes stare at her. But it is still very disturbing for me. My mother, as usual, took Abby's side and told me to just make peace with it. I wanted to kill myself because I had no one left. Lost my child and my husband, my whole family. Then my best friend Tina, my savior, came to my rescue. She was moving to another state and asked me to come with her. I said yes. I was already divorced at that point, and we lived in a small town, so I would obviously run into my ex and my sister. It took me a while to settle into my new life in a different state, but I met some kind people there. It helped me heal some trauma. I still have trust issues. I met my now husband Tony, 32M, after 1 year of moving to the new place. I was really hesitant and kept my guard up, but he showed me that he is trustworthy and loves me a lot. I was so happy with him that I almost forgot about the life I had back in my hometown. His parents were really welcoming and generous people. We got married a year ago. I am now pregnant with our first child. Yesterday I got an email from my ex Dan. It just brought back all the bad memories. I am just paraphrasing his email. He mentioned that he misses me. He tried to find me but couldn't. He is very miserable with my sister. She is very dumb and doesn't care about him like I do. I used to bake him a cake and throw birthdays for him. But Abby only texted him happy birthday and didn't even bother to buy him a cake. Plus she is very rude. She doesn't respect him. She is always at the bar with her friends. He also mentioned that she has cheated on him 5 times already. The last affair was with his cousin. Our mother also doesn't stop her. He will soon file for a divorce, but lately he has been missing me a lot. He wants us to try again as a couple. He wants us to become a family just like before. Since I do not have social media except for Instagram, which is private, he probably doesn't know that I am married and I have a baby on the way. I don't know if I should feel pity for him or just laugh because the grass on his side is very brown rather than green. Comment 1. Me? Wow. You've been through so much, and it's amazing to see how far you've come. Don't let his regrets bring you down. Focus on your new life and the love you've found. Comment 2. It's a classic case of wanting what you can't have. You deserve so much better than what he offered. Keep prioritizing your happiness and your growing family. Update 1. I just wanted to say thanks to all of you who messaged and showed me support. I have decided to send him an email and be done with it. It goes like, Dan, I am sorry to hear that you are suffering, but there is no way I would be with you. Yes, there was a time when I used to be that girl who would have taken you in a heartbeat, but that girl is not there anymore. That girl has died the day I had a miscarriage, and you were somewhere shacking up with my sister. I called you, but you never picked it up. I am married to a wonderful man who loves me and cherishes me. I am also pregnant with our first child. I am beginning this new chapter of my life with someone I love and care deeply. So please do not contact me ever again. You made your choice. You chose my barely legal sister over me. I do not care if she cheats on you or she doesn't respect you. Someone like you don't deserve loyalty and respect anyways. I have left my old life in my old town. It will be best for you to move on and have some self-reflect on yourself. You are just a deeply insecure man who is getting old and thought having a young woman would be good by your side. Goodbye. Update 2. 3rd March. A lot of you have been asking me what he replied. Well, he replied within an hour of me emailing him. He said that he was stupid enough to believe that I would still wait for him. And he said he would always wait for me, because no matter what I will always be his baby doll. I cringed hard. He used to call me that, but now it feels repulsive. I also got an email from my mom and my sister. My mom just congratulated me, and was excited that she is going to be a grandmother. And my sister also did the same and said she will be the cool aunt. I cannot believe these people. They forgot how they treated me when I needed them. And moreover betrayed me. I cried for a long time because I have been reading your comments. And it seems like me and my sister was groomed by that man. I feel so stupid. I know I shouldn't be mad at my sister, but she was old enough to know it's bad to have an affair with a married man. That too, someone who is your sister's husband. I blocked all of them. I am 5 months pregnant already. I don't need more stress. God bless my husband. He comforted me when I cried. Later took me out for ice cream. I hope I can move past this. Update 3. I am cooled down now. I think I can make a more elaborate update. Thanks to everyone who has shown me support. I needed it. The email from him, my ex, just struck me like a train. I had flashbacks of everything he has done to me. I think you guys deserve a detailed update. After I sent him the reply mail, he emailed me within an hour with the thing I said in my update 2 part. Few hours later, I get 2 other email from my mom and sister. They sent me in my old email address that I hardly use now. I don't know how they knew about my pregnancy. I try to keep a low profile. I still haven't posted my baby bump pics on social media, or made any announcements. I only have Instagram to follow my friends. But it just scared me. I broke down crying on the spot. Luckily, my husband Tony was around. He held me and put me on the couch. He knows everything about me. I never hid anything from him. I was a little bit scared that my mom and sister would find me. He reassured me that I am hundreds of miles away from them. I mean, we are on the opposite part of our country. He took me out for ice cream to comfort me. It took 2 ice cream cones to finally calm me down, lol. I told him about my concerns, and that my mom and sister might demand to see my baby. It's a girl. He told he would talk to his uncle, who is a police officer, to be on lookout for them. Even if they come here and force themselves on you, he would fight for it. He is going to consult his lawyer friend about this matter. And told me not to worry about my ex. He cannot harm me anymore. My husband even made a joke that he would move countries if he have to. Lastly, someone in my post commented that I should alert the daycare about my mom and sister in case they try to steal my baby. Well, we aren't planning to put her in daycare. Even though I am currently working, I decided I would quit my job and look after my baby and focus on healing from giving birth. I do have a good amount of saving in my personal bank. And this is my own decision. I will go back to work when our little princess is a little bit older. My in-laws are amazing. My Mill and Phil lives nearby. They are both good people and offered to help with my child. Also, don't worry. Apart from my in-laws, I have a good support system too. Tina and her wife, Jenny, basically adopted me, lol. They are really good people and always help me. I don't know what will happen in future, but at least I am surrounded by some good people that I never had growing up. Now, I will take your leave and enjoy my husband pampering me. If something big happens, I will keep you guys updated. And my ex-sister and mother are all blocked. Now, for the next story. I have a suspicion that my fiancé's cousin's child could be mine. My fiancée, Sara, and I have been together for 3 years. She's actually my first serious GF since middle school. I will honestly admit I've been a complete piece of shit with women for most of my teens and 20s, and pretty much used women. I'm saying all this to explain how promiscuous I was in the past. Sara knows about my past and she's grown to accept it. We met at work and she hated me because she saw right through me, and after pursuing her for close to a year, she finally agreed to a date, and the rest is history. We've been living together for 2 years now. And I've grown incredibly close to her parents too, and she also loves my family. Past 3 years have been the best of my life, and I'm so excited to spend the rest of my life with her. This weekend her cousin and her family are in town. She's really close with her cousin Lauren Miracle. I haven't met her yet. I was always busy for one reason or another the few times she's visited in the last 3 years. So I finally met Lauren and her husband for dinner at Sara's parents' place. She immediately stares at me a bit wide-eyed and I can't help but think she looks familiar. We're all being introduced to each other and Lauren for the most part seems to be acting normally, but she's still staring at me whenever she can. Sara's parents then come in with Lauren's little boy who's 5 years old. I'm looking at this kid and Lauren and the only thing I can think of is that this boy looks like a carbon copy of me at his age with some Lauren mixed in. I'm suddenly starting to remember that I took Lauren home from a bar close to 6 years ago. And I also remember convincing her to not use protection after I showed her my blood work. I'm just a sweaty nervous mess for the rest of dinner and I think Lauren realizes from how she looked at me and the boy that maybe I realized too. And an even more fucked up part. I think Lauren was visiting Sara the weekend I took her home. They probably had a girls' night out that weekend with their friends and I took Lauren home. So Sara was probably at the same bar that night. Sara asked me if I was okay and just told her I wasn't feeling well. I didn't go to work yesterday and today and just took sick days. I'd cake what the fuck to do. Lauren obviously isn't saying anything. I have no clue if she was married at the time, and I don't want to ask Sara, because I don't want her getting suspicious about me asking. I don't even know how I feel about possibly being a father. I'm 95% sure this kid is mine. Looked nothing like the husband. Do I just shut up? I never cheated on Sara, obviously, but she knows how much of a player I was, and it took her a while to get past my number. I don't know how she'd react if she knows I knocked up her cousin years before knowing her. This is vain and superficial about Sara and I love her to death, but she absolutely hates if something is considered trashy or low class. I honestly think it's possible she'd leave me if I knocked up her cousin. I can't lose her. She's literally the best thing that's ever happened to me. Comment 1. This is a tough situation, and it's understandable to feel overwhelmed. You might want to consider talking to Lauren first to see if she's aware of the connection before deciding what to share with Sara. Comment 2. Your past doesn't define who you are now. Honesty is crucial in relationships, but approach this carefully. Protecting your current relationship with Sara should be your priority, but so is understanding the truth. Update. After 3 days of staying at home and feeling sick to my stomach with nervousness about this, I finally told Sara late last night after my last post. Thank you so much, You Own Crew 3394, because that post gave me the push to spill my guts. As embarrassing as it is, I cried from beginning to end telling Sara, and pretty much told her I don't want to live without her. She held my hands in bed, and patiently listened about how I recognized Lauren, remembered our night, and how seeing that kid mentally broke me, because I saw my future with Sara jeopardized as soon as I saw him. She told me she's upset I didn't tell her as soon as we left her parents' place, and to never keep something like this from her again. But she understood I was scared. She said she's not leaving me, because I never betrayed her in the last 3 years we've been together. We'll figure this out too. And she said she'll reach out to Lauren herself and figure out what's going on, because she's been with her husband for 10 years now. And if she's my aunts from years ago, she definitely cheated. We then had an even more uncomfortable about the type of things I've done in my past, and wanted to know if there's any more surprises she needs to be ready for. Said she knows I was promiscuous, and a bit of a reckless idiot, but we kind of swept everything under the rug when we got together, because we both agreed we wanted a fresh start. And after this fiasco that might have been a bad idea, so she wants to know everything in detail now, but we can have that talk another time. I don't feel great about this, but I'll deal with this hurdle when it comes up. Sara has been home with me trying to get in touch with Lauren since morning, and has been getting completely stonewalled. Finally, Lauren texted her to please just let it go. Sara asked her again if they could just have a quick chat, or even if text is okay, but Lauren insisted to just let it go please. I'm guessing Lauren realized I told Sara everything. We don't know how to proceed from here on out. We're deciding to just respect her wishes and not pursue this further. Lauren also just changed her response to our wedding invite to a no-show. Sara is kind of upset by this, but honestly I'm fine with this outcome. We always planned to leave the US in a few years anyway. I got a lot of messages asking me to just shut up, and I was honestly ready to go that route, but I think the worry was actually physically making me sick. Anyway, thanks everyone for the advice, much appreciated. Final update. I've had literally dozens of people messaging me asking for an update. Sara and Lauren have been texting since my last update. Mostly Lauren apologizing because she won't be coming to our wedding. She also sent us some wedding and Christmas gifts, which was very sweet of her. Sara didn't really push her for answers, but left an open invitation to talk whenever Lauren felt comfortable. Few days before Christmas, Lauren FaceTimed Sara and told her everything. Her and her husband were going through a rough patch in their wedding at the time. He had an emotional affair with a coworker, and they were separated for a few weeks before reconciling. Lauren met me early on during the separation when we had our one-night stand. She told Sara I'm the only one she ever hooked up with during this separation. Soon after she realized she was pregnant, she reconciled with her husband. They had been trying with no luck, so just decided to raise the child as their own. Lauren said she's told her husband, and it's caused some turmoil in their marriage and they're working through it now. He knew about this nameless, faceless man, but seeing me in the flesh, and knowing after the fact that I'm the one guy has been a bit traumatic for him, and he's feeling very insecure. So unfortunately he never wants us to ever interact or be in the same room again. I was listening right out of view from the camera, but I couldn't help but ask Lauren if this means I can never see the boy. She just said she was sorry. She told Sara she'll talk to her later, and that was it. They've still been texting, and it seems Lauren and her husband will be okay with some time. Now we have to always coordinate that we're not coming to family events at the same time. Sara and Lauren have already made plans to meet themselves though. As far as Sara and I, we're doing okay. We had one pretty bad fight a few days after the last post went up. She wanted to know in excruciating detail everything about the type of guy I was before. Honestly felt like a CIA interrogation at one point. She cried and told me she wished she fell in love with someone else, which hurt a lot. She apologized the next morning and we've been doing a lot better now. I think we're stronger now, in fact, now that she knows everything. I'm also never ever doing that ancestry testing services all these companies do. I've also gotten a much better paying job that's fully remote. Sara will talk with her boss to see how she can convert to full remote as well, which we think is possible. We might be leaving sooner than we thought. That's it. Thanks everyone that provided advice, especially after the first post. How to owns with future fiancé's cousin resulting in her pregnancy. She wasn't cheating. Fiancé and I are okay. Her cousin and husband are working through it. I don't think I can ever see the child. We are going to move away.